It's no secret that I've got not only one, but two Dell Alienware QD-OLED monitors at home. And when they reached out offering to sponsor this unboxing of the brand new AW2725Q QD-OLED monitor, I couldn't say no. I just couldn't say no. It's 4K, 240 hertz, just like my AW3225QF at home, but there's a couple major differences. First of all, if it wasn't obvious, this one's flat. If it was curved, this box would be a lot bigger. Second of all, it's only 27 inches, if you couldn't guess that from the naming scheme. And third, they have completely redone the base, which is what I'm honestly kind of most excited about. One, it's not white anymore, which like, hey, the white looked good, but I love blue. Look at me, I'm wearing blue. I love blue. And look at this nice dark blue they've got. And then if it wasn't obvious, it's just a square. There's no more big V-shaped legs hanging out the edge of your desk. You got this tiny footprint that you can like put stuff on if you want to. It's great. I can't wait to open this thing up and take a look at it. And I'm not just saying that because it's sponsored. What else do we got? Cloth for your monitor. Love a good cloth. NYC CES press tour. If it wasn't obvious, we're filming this a little bit ahead of time. If you couldn't tell from the white box, that is clearly unmarked in any way, shape, or form. So this is kind of a pre-production unit. We might have issues. I'm not too worried about that. We've got a USB-B cable. We've got a DisplayPort cable. HDMI, probably 2.1 or fixed rate link 6. Ultra high speed. What else we got in here? C13 power connector. Maybe no brick. Just go straight into the monitor. We'll find out in a moment. Once we get this eggshell off of here. We've got the rest of our stand here. Oh man, I just love this metallic blue. This isn't gonna be for everyone. And I'll be the first person to admit that a really nice dark blue like this might not work with your home as well as a white or a black does. But as someone who really misses the days of colored computers, whether it's, you know, green, blue, red, yellow, orange, whatever, I don't care. I just want something that's more interesting than black or white. It's part of why I love RGB so much. I can just make it whatever color I want. Then we've got the rest of our monitor, which, it looks great. You guys will see in a sec. I'm gonna do the old, first things first, let's attach it to our base. Whoop. We're just gonna click clack. I am absolutely in love with this blue redesign. It's really too bad. I know a lot of you aren't gonna like it for whatever reasons. You're just gonna be like, I want black or white. But oh man, I think it's gorgeous. As for the stand, you know, it's got the good old uppy downy. Ooh, side to side swivel now on the column, which is great. Pivot it either way, and then, you know, we can tilt it. Let's take a look at the I/O. We got our power, two HDMI 2.1, one with eARC. DisplayPort 1.4, USB-B, couple of USB-A ports, another USB-A on the bottom, along with a USB-C that can do up to 15 watts power delivery. My only complaint, it's nice that there's 15 watts of power delivery on the USB-C. I wish it was 90 or even 60, please. Just let me charge a laptop or something. Otherwise, pretty good amount of I/O. There's just one more little change on the back here, aside from the color. They're going with this kind of new AW30ID with their glyph iconography. I think it looks neat. Just some blobby shapes and lines and dots, but I don't know, looks cool. Very alien-y, fits the brand. And then one final difference between my monitor at home and this guy here is it's 27 inches. While still being 4K 240 hertz. And because of that, you're gonna have this super high PPI of 166 pixels per inch. Now, we're obviously not getting into the Pro XDR display 200 plus PPI territory. This is not a Mac display, but like, man, 166 PPI is still pretty good. And one of the really nice things about having such PPI is text clarity should be even better than it was before. People complain about the fringing and stuff. It never really bothered me personally, but it should be even less of a problem now. But I gotta see that for myself. After all, how else am I gonna know if I need to upgrade or not? One other change they made, now that the base is nice and flat on the ground here, is the cable management is up a little higher. So before it would be on basically right on the bottom, and it was pretty hard to get at your cables, especially if it was a lot of them and it was very thick. They've also removed the cable cover that was on the back. I'm pretty cool with that because, first of all, I honestly don't even have the back for the ultra wide anymore. It's just gone. And then my 32-inch, it's there, but like I begrudgingly put it back on. It's just kind of annoying. Whereas you never really see the back of the monitor anyway, so I'm kind of glad they've removed it. Moment of truth, let's turn it on. Come on, Alienware. You know you love me. Hey. FreeSync and G-Sync, and it's VESA Adaptive Sync certified. Oh, this is nice. It actually makes you selected language from the start. Like I said, pre-production model, I can't guarantee that'll be in at the end, but this is nice. It gives you a factory calibration report. It gives me my service tag. You sure of accurate, consistent? I mean, it doesn't tell me my... Oh, wow, I really love this. Instead of including a little paper sheet, they've got everything digitally available for me. Select yes to enable USB charging. When yes is selected, power consumption will increase. Yeah, that's fine. I've unboxed a lot of monitors and I don't think I've ever come across that once. It's literally just turn it on and do things. And that's before we started testing stuff. Like, I think that's the first time that's ever happened. As for the UI, it's otherwise pretty similar to what they've had in the past. Let's check out some of our modes. We've got standard, FPS, MOBA, RPG, sports, creator, which can, you can change your color space to DCI P3. It should do 99% of P3, or sRGB if you so choose. And then gamma, you can change your gamma. Nice, okay. I'm not gonna mess with gamma just in here. What I'm gonna do is go back and set this to standard. What kind of HDR modes we got? Movie HDR, game HDR, custom color HDR. That custom color HDR is actually really cool. If you can change this, we're just gonna set ours to HDR Peak 1000 because that's my favorite mode because I love having 1000 nits of brightness on an OLED and you get these tiny pinpricks of light. It's so nice. And then what else do we got? Dolby Vision, on, off, bright, dark. I'm gonna keep it off just because not everything we're gonna do has access to DV, but it's also got picture-in-picture, PVP, whatever you want. So even though it's a 27-inch monitor, if you wanna do side-by-side and make it 2 monitors, you can do that. Absolutely can. That's pretty much it. It's also got a bunch of OLED care stuff, pixel refresh, self-diagnostic testing. This will, just like all the other Alienware OLED monitors, it'll come with a 3-year warranty, which includes burn-in and image retention. So if you're really still afraid, 3 years, you're good to go. 240 hertz, hell yeah. Peak brightness, 993, 10-bit color, RGB, HDR. It's wild how much a display like this would have cost you even just 5 years ago. Even 10 years ago, changing it to IPS with the same specs, it was really expensive if it even existed. 240 hertz IPS, I don't know, 4K? Absolutely not. Specs have come a long way. I've got a 32-inch version at home, and I've got to say, personally, because I like to kick back, I sit back, put my feet up, game from like back here, 32 inches is great for that. But for the average desk use, if I'm sitting this close, I think 27 is pretty perfect. And now that it's 4K and that PPI is just that little bit more dense, it's really nice. It's so crispy. God, 166 PPI. Man, that's good stuff. And then let's scroll this up. Man, that looks good. Again, I'm not super sensitive to color fringe. It's really nice having the feet not be like out to here because now you can get like right in close if you really want to and the foot's not sticking out. I know you can put it on an arm, but a lot of people don't. So being able to do this is pretty cool. Okay, let's game though. How does this thing look? It's 240 hertz. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Bonus weapon, the PP Bison. Counter-Strike already looks really good, but you know what makes it look even better? A top quality OLED monitor. You do a flick, it's instantly clear. I died right there, but it wasn't the monitor's fault. It was my fault, because I'm just bad. If you do a whip and your screen is instantly cleared up because the motion pixel response time of OLED is just so wildly fast that even if it's only 240 hertz and not 360 hertz, it's just cleared up instantly. Like you see, that was, I know they're bots, guys. I know, but that was like 3 dinks in a row. When I first saw the 3rd gen QD-OLEDs and I played at 4K, they had me convinced. I went home after going to San Jose and then I bought one. I know they game good. And you know what? I know they HDR good. It's just the next generation of QD-OLED. But we gotta take a look. As predicted, it looks amazing. OLED and HDR go hand in hand. Mini LED and HDR look pretty good, but it's not quite the same. Micro LED, whenever that does come out, sure, maybe that'll win, but I think that monitors at least, it's gonna be a long time coming. Whereas right now, OLEDs are here and they are coming down in price. I'm gonna tell you the price before we get to the labs results, because guess what? This thing is $899. I know $900 is still a lot of money for a lot of people. However, it's also a lot of monitor. 4K, 240, OLED, Dolby Vision, USB-C charging. It's really hard to pick the absolute best monitor for yourself these days, but you're no longer having to spend, unless you're getting something really niche, upwards of, you know, $2,000 to get a normal display with just top tier specs. And how does it test? Well, I'll tell you, it tests pretty good. As for color accuracy and SDR, we measured an average Delta E 2000 of 0.66 with a max of 1.38 in creator mode out of the box. That's phenomenal. As for HDR, in peak 1000 mode, we measured a very solid average Delta E ITP of just 6.86 with a max of 21.93. That is very accurate for HDR content. And set to that mode, it reaches Dell's claim of 1000 nits peak brightness. As for SDR, it only peaks at around 270 nits at all window sizes, which isn't super bright, but it's also pretty typical for SDR content. They also reached all of their color gamut claims with 99.9% in sRGB, 99.3% in P3, and 76.4% in BT 2020. And then coming back to gaming, with our pixel response times, we measured a gray to gray of 0.1 milliseconds with a max of 0.6. And as for latency, it was 0.6 milliseconds over the theoretical perfect. So it's just solid at 240 hertz. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Being an early adopter sucks.
It's already updated.
I love my current monitor. 32 inches, 4K, that's the right fit for me. But this stand, Alienware, why'd you have to come out with this now? Why couldn't you come out with this 1 or 2 generations ago? I just love the blue so much more. Honestly, if you want a really top tier monitor, it's hard to go wrong with anything these days. I also said it before that I'm really happy to see the prices come down on these things, and I'm gonna say it again, because for a 4K 240 hertz OLED to be under the $1,000 price point, that's just kind of wild, and I can't wait to see what the rest of CES and the future for displays holds this year, 2025. Thanks for watching. I'm Plouffe, this is ShortCircuit, this is a monitor, I've got other ones. Check out other videos. No, Bell will hate me if I do that.